It's good stuff, though. I enjoy it. And I think it was $2. It was $2 for the jug, so there you go. All right, as you may recall, everybody, Pete and Jeremy over at D&D Time on Wednesday cracked open some Avernus boxes, and from that, we took notes on the band that they ended up creating as a part of an adventure. They weren't sure what kind of an adventure to go with, and if it wasn't for Blood Deuce, was it you, or do you remember who it was in chat that said when they opened up the Glabrazoo, it looks like a drummer, and from that one comment, the entirety of the adventure just seemed to crystallize. Speaking of lurking, time to watch anime and eat a blizzard with the wifey? Oh, no. What a horrible night, Donnie. Nope, be back later. That's fine. Take your time. Enjoy. Oh, I'd totally be a poser, Raz, if I did that. That's all right. I'll lift my pinky as I'm drinking my own home tea out of a out of effectively a recycled Arizona bottle. I could be mystificated. So what we did last night, we ended up creating 4 NPCs. And we ended up making NPCs out of their security staff, who are the Maragon, they're bouncers. Because they got 2 Maragon, and that was a fun process. As we explored who those people were before they became Maragon and were sort of hired or really just more acquired to be security. We then made the Armonite that was pulled into their old roadie. You know, the one who has all the, like, the old lore and wisdom. He's been around, kind of grizzled, kind of cranky. Although he does seem to have a secret crush. You know, he has a soft heart, just under a hard exterior. And then we made the Glabrazoo that was pulled into a drummer. And our drummer was someone who likes decadent pleasures in so much that he's expanding his consciousness, if you get what I'm saying. And he's also into some new age thinking. He decided to splash a couple levels of knowledge cleric there to expand his mind and to, you know, see the world. And the worlds, man, it's like more than just one, which is why we put the S on the end. And the S is a part of infinity. And if you put 2 S's together, it's infinity. Just sort of a character like that. You know, just kind of happy-go-lucky, really laid back, awesome drummer, but also keeps a couple side jobs because Glabrazoo are known to be hoarders. And tonight, what I would like to do is to make at least 2 villains with you in our workshop. Yes. Raz, we are going the villains. There's going to be like the main villain of the adventure, and that main villain is actually going to be the Narzagon, which I actually think is Narzugon, the Narzagon riding on the Nightmare. That's going to be the big boss. However, the Flesh Golem would be kind of like a sub boss. You know, someone that would prevent a party in the adventure from getting to the band members. Because he's that super creepy stalker superfan. The one who, you know, collects the sweaty handkerchiefs thrown from the stage. The one who, you know, will root through their garbage after a concert. The one that probably sends them messages that you wonder, did that person not put a comma there because he meant that as it was? Or was there supposed to be a comma and it's actually not as bad as it sounds? So yes, Raz, we're gonna make at least these 2 characters as a boss, like the big bad evil guy kind of a thing. and then we're gonna have the sub boss or a more antagonistic rival, someone to get in the way of the adventurers. And I think we should begin with our Flesh Golem here. Whoop. Our Flesh Golem. In this set, the character that we're looking at is Mickey the Flesh Golem. And just from his looks and from what we were talking about, he's the creepy superfan. It seems like he might have been taking parts or growing parts, or otherwise is trying to become the band. And it is it's something that is going to be we could have a lot of fun with this, as we have someone who's probably obsessed, someone who is going to follow them, and for some reason, you know, can always pay for the VIP tickets, though no one knows maybe what Mickey does. Though we could find out in a you know, in our backgrounds, our background creation. So yeah, we're gonna start here with this character. He's trying to become a one monster band version. Oh, so this would still be a mini rival, especially as our Narzagon, our big bad evil guy, is going to be the ex-band member that went solo, like to have a solo career, and comes back and is trying to upstage and put the inner demons out of business. So it all goes back to him. Also, welcome, Hark. Good to see you. A merchant that sells small voodoo dolls. Ooh. You know, yeah, in a world with scrying and teleportation magic and all this, a sweaty handkerchief could really be dangerous. Mickey definitely gives off some salad fingers vibes. All right. Oh, snap. Coffee Cat is here. Everybody, please welcome Coffee Cat with some wonderful hype. Remember, Coffee Cat plays Mordecai in the Tuesday game, and Coffee, you were having one of your caffeine fixes, which is a super secret code for a drawing stream, and you're still working on the embrace of your character in Derek's Sunday night vampire game. So it's the Embrace of Mouse. Howdy, howdy, howdy. And by the way, Coffee, I warm people up to the idea that we'll be commissioning some BTTV emotes with you. Oh, you hit, what, is it like an impasse, or is it just, it's not really that you hit a wall, you just need to be selective in how you're going to be navigating these waters? Well, welcome all the same. We're doing some villain creation. We're just starting out, Coffee. Obviously, I mean, you could talk about what your project is, and Coffee, if you want to put a link to your channel, you're welcome to do so. How to get Gutter and Mouse out of a walled-off parking lot. Well, maybe we could put, Coffee, if you want other people to put their brains to it, and I understand if you want this to be, you know, a project from your heart alone, though if you're looking for ideas, then if you throw out the circumstances, maybe some of us could ponder it and get back to you on that. Yeah, so Hark, you could type exclamation point 1D3. Now, our adventure villain... Yes, a mysterious voice sasses you. You again? You got a wish somehow, didn't you? Think you're all special? Hey, everyone, look at me. I have some wishes coming my way. Fine, fine. Take them and get out of here. You get one wish. We know the concept, right? We know we're going for this creepy super fan, a mega collector, someone who just doesn't really come across as much as what would Mickey. I mean, fiends, I don't think necessarily always have a he or a she. Maybe an it. Although Mickey being comprised of several other fleshy bits, Mickey might even be a they. And simultaneously, like, a singular and a plural they at the same time. So, let's take these prompts. We know the basis for Mickey. Our adventure villain here, I'm going to roll a d20, and what's a prompt we could use to think about how we can work him into the story. Now, the premise of running a demon devil like fusion band, it's pretty straightforward, especially if you want to just have this be a short adventure, you know, a one shot, maybe like a 4-shot or something along those lines. And it might be easy enough to go through this process, and you don't need to worry about the random numbers. I don't want any of you out there to think I have to create villains this way. You do not. The reason why we take these steps is to provide inspiration and or challenge, where we can take a simple idea and throw a couple extra ideas into it and still make it work and expand our minds and look for connections to the NPCs, to the setting. Maybe even this is a spin-off and it'll create another villain or another NPC. Is this Flesh Golem going to have a magic voice box? Normally they don't speak, or because of that they don't speak makes them more creepy. Well, we could always say the device that it has around its neck could be that, Marlborough. Remember, all of the creatures that we are turning into NPCs or villains, it's not just a Glabrazoo. It's our Glabrazoo drummer who has this history. It's not just a Maragon that's the finished product of a, kind of an abbreviated life that existed before the person died, went to hell, and got shoved into a Maragon body. Kind of turned into a diabolic Big Daddy from BioShock. So they can certainly be different. I think we're affording ourselves that ability to do, that poetic license to step outside the norm, because this is kind of a silly premise. Not that every D&D session has to be super serious. It's fun when they are, and as well, D&D time as this is from the minds behind D&D time. I think we can make it a bit silly or a bit out of the usual or the norm anyway. Just so I know, as I think what I cannot use my single wish for. Hark, the wish is primarily meant for roleplay purposes. Like, if other people are drawing from the deck of many things, you might be able to have a fun roleplay interaction with a wish. Someone draws talons and loses all their gear. You can give that back, but maybe, I don't know, maybe for a price or something. Or what I'm leaving it in O'Sheep's discretion that if someone gets wishes, one or more, then they could use one wish to turn a disadvantage into a normal roll, or a normal roll into an advantage when they go on an adventure. But it's not something that I was really intending on being spammed. So if Sheeps is in a good mood and she gives you she gives you the hooved okay, then you could use it in that regard. Otherwise, wait for other people to draw from the deck of many things and have fun with it. Kyra says, that makes me think of Ursula for some reason. Oh, with the voice? Yeah, and you know what? Mickey might... What if we make Mickey kind of like a Kenku? Where maybe maybe he can't speak himself, but he's recorded the voices of the band members. You see how we have this tube going around, and it goes into something here? What if for some reason he's been collecting the voice of the band members and other people, and can speak in their, well, not in their language per se, but in their voice, their accent, because he has it saved, just as he collects everything else. Sweat and hair and other things he keeps adding to himself. What if he is going and collecting their voices as well? Like a bumblebee, says Marlboro. Yeah, Sheeps, I should sit down with you and give you a primer just of things that even I came up with on the fly, but I've been doing it so long it's up here. Alright, so there's our premise. Let's roll some numbers. We're on page 74 of the Dungeon Master's Guide. And I'm going to roll a d20 to figure out what's an aspect of our adventure villain here. I rolled a 10. A humanoid cultist. Well, I think for sure. He's following the cult of the inner demons. Now, if we want to have this person maybe follow someone else, but they're trying to break out, and maybe that's why he's always at the inner demons, because he is a part of another organization. Maybe doesn't like it, or it feels rejected in some way and accepted elsewhere, but there's just a cultural translation issue between the Flesh Golem and the band and their fans. He has the larynx of a previous singer in the band. That we could even, we could even have a prompt like that go into our big bad evil guy who was an ex-member of the band and ended up maybe getting a new voice. Maybe he was the former singer or something that the Arenes ends up taking over for. And so Mickey ends up collecting it. Which is probably another reason why the band always feels kind of grating around him, because he might speak a lot in that former band member's voice. All right, now we're going to skip ahead to page 94. And let's roll. What is Mickey's scheme? And we're going to roll a d8 so that we have our prompt here. And then within the D8, you can see there are some sub prompts that we can, from which we can choose. And actually, you know what? Let's do this. Raz, would you please type ! 1d8? Stops on a 6. Power. All right, Marlboro Man, would you please type ! 1d4? Stops on a 2. Power seize control of an army. Oh my. There we go. How do we want to interpret this? Wants to seize. Maybe he wants to be the band manager. Wants to be a member of the band. Wants to lead it because he is, or it is, or they are the inner demon's biggest fan. Even dimensionally, continues to grow by adding new parts. And what is the method? What is the random method that our villain here is using to try and seize this power? Hark, would you please type ! 1d20? Oh, so maybe he wants to actually be the leader of the like the fan group. That could be it, Raz. All right, Hark, you rolled an 18. 18 is torture. And what kind of torture is Mickey employing to try and seize control, to be the #1 superfan, to take over the fan club, and to lead the army in glorious acceptance of the inner demons as they take the stage? So torture, and then, oh sheeps, would you please roll a d6? 1d6, por favor. You roll a 4. Racking. Stretching people out. The drawn part of drawn and quartering. Putting them over a wheel. And so he wants them to submit by racking them in some way so that he is working his way up. Or she, or it, or again, they, because it's a flesh golem made of different parts. Frogman, welcome back. While playing band tracks nonstop. Yeah, so you have to memorize the songs. You can't be a fan if you don't know every lyric, including singing in reverse for the back mask. And so, you get the tracks being played, and suddenly he goes into and everyone's like, "Whoa!" All right, now, every villain has a weakness of some kind, and this could be a physical weakness, or again, we could take it in some metaphorical fashion. And this villain's weakness, Phoenixina, would you please roll a d8, please? Well, I'll say please again. I'll say please twice. Please and thank you. Exclamation, yeah, there we go, 1d8. We rolled a 5. Mickey the Flesh Golem's weakness is the villain is destroyed if it speaks its true name. His weakness is a flesh to stone. Well, I mean, that could be one of them, Raz. Now, with a prompt like this, Mickey had to have a start somewhere. What was the core? What was the core of Mickey? Was Mickey always called Mickey? Was Mickey always so fine that Mickey would blow your mind? Hey, Mickey. Hey, Mickey. The cult, like the Blue Oyster Cult or something, Marlboro? Someone else sings it? Well, I mean, I was doing a deadpan for comedy, but he was the guy that lugged the speakers around for concerts. Okay, so we have another former band member. Maybe something happened. Maybe there was an accident, and so the person was thought to be dead or gone or somehow just like fired or let go, and Mickey was just something happened and was down this path, and so if it speaks its true name, it suddenly maybe realizes who he, she, it, we, they was? Hi, Maladroit. Yes. That is my only regularly streamed game. There may be times where I might do something towards the end of the year. I don't want to give out too many details, but I might have a one shot or sort of take a week and have like a 4-shot with some of you from the community as PCs. But so that's a stay tuned for more information. As of now, Tuesday is our primary play day, Maladroit. All right, occupation and history. And you may notice, we're going into NPC character creation, well, but I thought we were creating a villain. Why, yes, villains are NPCs. Though not all NPCs are villains. Oh, Melodroid, well, thank you for saying thank you. I appreciate that you enjoy the content that's here, and not just the content, because look, the content's the content, but look at the type of people who all gather together to hear some rando with scrubby hair here, talk about weird workshop stuff and random characters and all sorts of things. But you and everyone else are welcome, and I'm honored to be able to share in an online community with you all, Maladroit. Our occupation and history, this is a bit of a mystery, and I'm going to leave this for last, because this could tell an interesting tale that goes into the villain's weakness. So leaving the past behind, in a sense, because I think we're treating Mickey kind of like we're treating the Maragons. Let's go right into the appearance. As long as Mickey's girlfriend's name isn't Sharona. My Sharona? Rhino Hide says Morgs. And then Frogman says Morks. Is a Mork a modified orc in some way? Is it like a Matty Morg's version of an orc? Is it like a Morgling that we were talking about at the beginning of the show? Ma-orcs. Ma-orcs. Oh, Rhino, you know how to butter up sheeps. Maladroit says, you engage people in thoughtful discussion, which keeps me coming back, and the bad dad joke references to 80s music. Maybe Mickey is Sharona? Maybe Mickey... Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel. Maybe Mickey is Sharona. Mickey is all of them, or at least parts. So then Mickey would also be my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing? Oh, snap. Mendari is here. Hey, boo. I like that. Wonderful. Yes, welcome. I'm going to welcome you with just cat butts. We'll mix it up a little bit here. Welcome, Mendari et al. We're having a fun... We're having a fun villain workshop going on right now. Mendari raid, says Imp Laughs. Rhino says, see, that scene would have to be rewritten if that movie were to be made today. Do you think so, Rhino? Our villain is Mickey the Flesh Golem, who is a creepy super fan. A creepy super fan of our band, The Inner Demons, that was put together by randomly opening boxes of Descent into Avernus. Here's our old grizzled roadie. Here's their drummer. And working security are 2 Maragons. All right, Mendari, I'd like you to type exclamation point 1d20, please. Oh, talking about Ace Ventura. Oh, you need a 1d20. Mendari, store? I don't know, maybe? I do, because I will pop boxes of minis that people sponsor on stream, or you could do a gacha pull. And you could win miniatures, dice, bags, paint sets, all sorts of fun stuff is in here. All those may not be in this set of 50, well, it's 48 capsules now. There's also 3 prize goblins in here, and if you get a prize goblin, I will pay an artist in our community on your behalf either $60, $40, or $20, so you could get some art made. It's a good way to support the artists in the community. All right, it stops on a 9. All right, so a 9, an unusual eye color, or 2 different colors. So Mickey has an appearance of unusual eye color, and if we're gonna lean into this, then it's some kind of a brown eye, right? Brown-eyed girl. Yeah, we could even have heterochromia. Absolument. Yes, prize. There are a gold, a silver, and a bronze prize goblin that are in the mix. I feel like there'd be a lot of backlash because it kind of implies that changing yourself like that's a bad thing. I don't know if it implies that. I mean, it was a shock because he didn't make the connection. I don't know if there's anything malicious to it, though, Rhino. I'd have to go back and watch, but you know, it's an ever moving. I don't want to say a goalpost, but it's an ever moving societal expectation that we see in every generation. Because if you go back and watch movies or cartoons or TV from the early 2000s, the 90s, the 80s, the 70s, I mean, we're all going to see things that it'll feel a little remote to us now. Even though there was nothing at the time that was offensive about it, or it was meant to be some kind of a put down or whatnot. So having that memory committed to memory, I can see how it can be taken poorly. Says Imp. Which memory are you talking about? Your character in Party Foul? So that character has heterochromia too. Well, Rhino, what if by the fact that Mickey has taken on parts of other people, that there's all these other names? And so I guess it could come up, but this isn't the big bad evil guy. Mickey is simply a dangerous rival, someone who will baffle the attempts of the adventurers to get on stage to meet the inner demons, because Mickey's in the mosh pit, or Mickey's behind the stage with the super VIP pass, which they keep selling to Mickey because Mickey has the money for it for somehow. Though they always kind of keep him at a distance because he's kind of that creepy super fan. So in that case, I don't know if we really have a monologuer, especially if Mickey's voice isn't Mickey's own voice. One brown eye and one purple. Oh, cool. Take it one step further, he has 2 different eyes. Oh, yeah. So unusual eye color, or just 2 different eyeballs. It is a Flesh Golem, right? The Dritz storyline, Lavender Orbs, continual part of the character. The 0 bearing on the person. I imagine some of the old Western movies with the scar across the eye, says Maladroit. Yeah, so there we go. He has one of the eyes from the original band member. Ah, see, now, because we're going through this process one step at a time, then when we make the big bad evil guy next, we can incorporate that in there. A Betty Davis eye and a brown-eyed girl. One cat's eye and a giant ice spider eye. You must away for the evening, Mindari. Yes, lurk away. We're gonna have a fun workshop. Do what you gotta do. Go to bed or eat some dinner and then go to bed or whatever. We'll continue on, and anyone who came over with you, they're gonna be in good hands here. I promise. We'll keep everyone entertained, and we're gonna have a fun workshop. And when we finish the workshop, if anyone wants boxes or capsules, I'll pop them. But just between you, me, and everyone else, not much of a secret, right? We're gonna go raid D&D time. They're having a really big night tonight for their players that are reaching their legend tier. The boys are even dressed up. They have a nice sport coat on and a tie. And so what I want to do after we're done with this, actually a D&D time crossover workshop we're doing, I want to try and rally everyone together. And I'll put a notification on Discord so we can get some people. And I want to go give D&D time a big ol' raid to show them some support. And the Eye of Vecna, we're bringing Vecna in on this. Ooh, ooh. The roadie, the roadie. We didn't make the band manager. We made the roadie and we made the drummer. Mindari, look. I do business with people who do business with me. If we ended and you were streaming, I'd probably be giving you a raid. I try and raid people in our community to support each other, to give each other eyeballs and network, and just to spread the love in the community. That way we all have options about, oh, so yeah, this person does this, and I know someone who does that, and suddenly we all have awesome options for reference, for entertainment, for whatever we all do. Oh, the drummer. Oh, Rhino, the drummer was amazing. I'll go over the drummer when we finish this up. Well, the two villains, what I mean. Hey, 12 for 10. There might be part of an elf in Mickey the Flesh Goblin. Mickey the Flesh Golem. There might even be a part of a goblin in Mickey, too. Good evening. All right. Mindari, if you're still here, before you go, leave your legacy on this character one more time. Type in exclamation point 4D6 for me, please. Maladrake Gamer says, or as simple as striking depth of color. For instance, there are people that have blue eyes that stop you in your tracks. Unusual. Yes, exactly. What, like Frank Sinatra, I think, was always described as having just these captivating blue eyes. Yep. Mindari might have made good on her threat to go to bed. Maladrake Gamer, would you please type exclamation point 4D6 for me, please? Welcome back, Kyra. 5124. 5124. All right, now, Mickey might have a stat block in Avernus, being a special Flesh Golem. Our Mickey is going to have a high wisdom score and a low strength. And for someone who has trouble communicating, Mickey pays attention a lot. Mickey's observant. And Mickey may still even be smart. Constitution might even be way up there as well. Just, a lot of the flesh might not be strong itself, but the overall body could be tough all the same. And so we use wisdom and strength as guidelines. Because again, wisdom could be 30. Strength could be 3. That's high and low. And the other scores are between. Wisdom could be 15. And strength could be 8. If we just apply a standard array. So not a terribly large, schism between the two. A Beholder Eye. Yeah, Vecna's Eye alone is an artifact, let alone if you have the hand. Plus, I think if we start getting Vecna involved in this, Vecna would end up usurping the focus of the story of telling the band, and you know, this group of the inner demons band that takes all the misfits from the abyss and the nine hells, and they're a band that just attracts these odd souls that don't even fit in these otherwise fiendish areas. Fortunately or unfortunately, when you name drop Vecna, or you know, it's like the something, the Eye of Grumpsh, or the Hand of Saint Cuthbert, or something like that, then that has a tendency to overshadow what you are hoping to run at your table, because then the story shifts to that figure, or it has a propensity to do so. Not that you should never, you know, name drop or use artifacts like that. I don't want to have you think that that's bad. There is just something you could prepare for that could be a possibility. Yes, I'm always open to Tales from the Tabletop, Rhino. How do you portray wisdom? I personally think of it as the ability to reconcile the events around oneself. Yeah, wisdom is your gut instinct. Wisdom is street smarts. Intelligence is book smarts. Wisdom is your instincts. Intelligence is your reasoning. Wisdom is feeling based. Intelligence is logic based. You need a fiddle player in the band? Well, they're going to keep losing that golden fiddle then, 12 for 10. Because people just keep coming to that crossroads, and once one person beats the devil in a fiddling contest, you know other people are going to line up to do so as well. All right, now a talent our villain has. 12 for 10 cents, please type exclamation point 1D20. Stops on a 4. Ooh. Our talent is we have a perfect memory. It's probably why we seem like we're a creepy super fan, because we remember that time. And, you know, Mickey remembers that time. When we first met, girl, remember the time. You fell in love with me, remember the time. I'm gonna try to put songs into this. If we're making this musical, if we're doing references, I will do my best. Rhino says, so as the DM for my party, our Paladin didn't want to be like all the others, so I crafted a homebrew oath that basically had him take on the job of doing all the gods of his pantheon, all the gods of his pantheon, as long as no two tasks directly opposed each other. And because I like to punish myself, I made a pantheon of 20. But now when he calls for divine aid, he has to roll to see who answers him. And any spells he uses are flavored to reflect the last deity he spoke to. Oh. So we have a wild magic paladin, kind of. Wisdom is perception and knowing how to get by in the world. Intelligence is math or what you've learned from books. Yes, I agree, Frogman. Now for a mannerism. Frogman, would you please roll type exclamation point 1D20? Stops on a 15. Well, we're getting high rolls tonight. Last night it was low rolls. Reading, writing, arithmetic. You got it, 12 for 10. So with a 15... we have a mannerism of it stares into the distance. That's another creepy point for this super fan. Just always stares. Maybe he doesn't need to blink because those borrowed or stolen or just given off of a corpse, those given eyes maybe are just always watery. And so Mickey always watches. Always. Yeah, oh, and those eyes are going to be, those eyes are going to be very creepy eyes too. Yeah, yeah, exactly. What was 12 for 10? How would you use memory as a tool? Is that what you're asking, Maladroit? Oh, a tomato. Gotcha. Now, Mickey has interactions with others in an interesting fashion. And in particular, Raz, would you please roll a d12? Hi, Hypnotic Gamer. Welcome. Oh, exclamation point 1d12. We are creating a villain out of Mickey the Flesh Golem for the D&D Time Adventure prompt. It's been a great amount of fun. Rolls an 11. Is very quiet in his interactions. Whoop, interaction. I was typing that as I was saying it. Very quiet. Quiet, watches people, so you know that every move you make, every step you take, every breath you take, I'll be watching you. Again, I'm going to try and tie this to lyrics if we're going to do this. Perfect memory as a tool. To me, a perfect memory sounds like a picture memory as we define it. So something like that, Maladroit, a trait like a perfect memory is what I like to call plot putty. Plot putty is a wonderfully malleable substance that can fill any gap or hole that might show up in the story. And that's how you use it. Yeah, oh, can't you see? You belong to me. By the way, I had a good candidate for LASIK, so I'm having... Oh, cool. You got scheduled in for it. All right, now, Hypnotic, you went for that. I presume after so much time and technology and refinement, because the old wisdom used to be wait until you're 40 because your eyes go bad again or something like that. Was any of that brought up in your consultation? Is this now an old wives' tale about laser eye surgery? XCat, hello. XCat says blep. Now, useful knowledge, by the way, on your NPCs or villains, is a beautiful black box of filled with plot putty, because you can have your NPCs and villains know or not know whatever you want them to, and your players will never be the wiser. Oh, got it. So there's really no difference, Hypnotic. Oh, and you even can get a touch up? Oh, wow, that's cool. I agree, it's a tool for the DM. It's a fantastic one. I think I'm looking at this as a full character plot for a long... Yeah, you could. In fact, in a different kind of sense, Maladroit, have any of you seen the movie Memento? Oh yeah, oh sheeps. It's amazing the advancements. And Dylan, or is it Dylan, or do you want it to be pronounced more like Dailang? Please let me know how you'd like me to pronounce your name. Thank you for the follow. Oh, hopefully that's treatable. 12 for 10. Yeah, it is quite a price, huh? It was normal. Ah. I mean, you always hate hearing that, and then they're like, yeah, it's normal. Normal doesn't mean good. It's, it's normal that lightning would strike you if you're in the conditions for it to happen. It doesn't mean it's good. Now, our villain here has an ideal of 2 and 4, which is, it's an evil ideal of 1, 2, 3, 4, and, of pain. Well, you know what? Our method for seizing control of the fan club was racking people. And so I think this goes along very well here, where pain, pain is weakness leaving the body, as some might say. Pain, you have this inner pain, you have to get it out, you have to express yourself. That's what the inner demons are all about. And so we got to extract the pain to truly be a fan. Excuse you. You can't just jump up there and do that. Oh, that's really cool, Phoenix. Do you have a pair of horn rimmed glasses to offer? You gotta get the you gotta get the big pearl croquis or whatever, like the thing that you can drop your glasses and it'll be around your neck. If you have the big horn rimmed glasses, you gotta go for those like librarian pearls. Yeah, exactly. Pardon. Hark, would you please type exclamation point 1d10? Let's figure out this villain's bond. Phoenix says he tries to tell me he can't see stuff now, and I just point out his eyes are better than mine. Hark rolls an 8 for us. Protective of a valuable possession. That valuable possession that Mickey is holding on to is most likely the voices that he's been collecting and the bits. Because as I think it was Raz that pointed out, what if Raz actually has the larynx or an eye of the ex-bandmate that left and is coming back for revenge and is going to be our big bad evil guy? How important is this rival? Important to what, Maladroit? Oh, Sheeps is sharing your story tonight. My sight has always been so bad, but I went to a doctor 10 years ago, and he never said anything serious about my eyes. Then he retired, and a new doctor came in, and was all worried, and dilated my eyes, and is like, you've had a scar in your eye. Do you know when that happened? Well, no, I do not, but apparently it wasn't bad enough for the other doctor to say anything. Well, hopefully it's nothing too bad, oh Sheeps. I've had my cornea injured when I was younger, but I'm better now. I mean, I don't. I mean, for all of you out there, there's 44 of you. Oh, you thought it was a singular stigmatism? Oh, the plot, the hero campaign. This is for kind of a, if not a one-shot, then like a very short, several session. And so this is meant to be more like a rival, not the big villain Maladroit. This is someone who is a part of the story, but is going to get in the way, is going to end up revealing some history, some information as the adventure plays out. And finally, what is our flaw or secret? Hypnotic Gamer, would you please type exclamation point 1D12? Let's find out a flaw or a secret of our... I mean, we'll say a villain. He's more of just an aggressive rival. 11. Possession of forbidden lore. What does Mickey know? What does Mickey know that's forbidden? Maybe a secret about the band? Maybe they tolerate Mickey as much as they can because this could be a blackmail situation? Maybe Mickey knows why the band member was kicked out. At least what everyone thinks, right? And so Mickey is like, I'm going to milk this. I'm going to go to all the concerts. And they're going to tolerate me despite my creepy stare. It could be a true name because 12 for 10, we are dealing with demons and devils. Oh, that's more of a demonic thing, I think. A true name, like the true name of of one of the band members, would allow the assertion of control if we stick with the normal D&D lore. Yeah, he might have collected the Dark Secrets Hark. He knows they murdered the Ooh, Phoenix. This is getting deep and dark. We are talking about the Abyss and the Nine Hells, of course. We could totally touch noses and actually see each other clearly. He knows the details of the demonic contract that the band is obligated to. Oh, like a grand scheme that this is all building towards. He knows who killed the chicken. That could, yeah, because that was a side murder mystery. Like, that's sort of like Baby's first mystery. The PCs arrive on the scene. You describe the interesting island and the culture, and everyone's trying to figure out who killed our mascot chicken. Mickey knows. What is my true name? I cannot say, for it is too... your mortal ears cannot comprehend the... We'll just have to call them syllables, as that's the approximation of what you would liken them to. Yatam? Yatam apparently is my true name. Hypnotic. You're clever in that regard. That's us. There was a story behind that name, by the way. I'm not going to tell it now. Scrom Yatam. That does sound like a cool true name, doesn't it? Scrom Yatam. Arise. Meet your fervent followers. Yeah, of course. Hi, Daily. Yes, Scrom Yatam is the leader of the Avocati. Also, hi. Alright, so we made our rival here, Mickey the Flesh Golem. We've given him a lot more of a personality here. Have a great weekend yourself, 12 for 10. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, a side plot about the Man of Constant Sorrow? And good morning to you, Syart. Alright, so, our true villain, the big bad evil guy of this campaign, it's not Olanthius. Olanthius is the band manager. Jeremy pulled Narzagon as a minion in one of his boxes. Narzagon on a nightmare here, okay? And Narzagon, as Pete and Jeremy put it, is an ex-band member that was kicked out or something. And in a bitter, like he was bitter towards the inner demons, and he vowed to come back. So he started a successful solo career and has now come back during this concert to upstage them, maybe by killing them, or just out singing them, or out performing them, or maybe just by killing all their fans, because what's a band without fans? Why attack a powerful group of demons and devils when you could take out the scrubs wearing the merch? Some are probably even wearing the same band shirt to the concert they're seeing. You know, you want to talk about a concert faux pas. Yeah, and you know, anchoring your fantasy story to something that happened is absolutely viable. Absolutely, Maladroit. That's a very good reminder. The remaining band members wouldn't say kicked out per se. They diverged creatively and went their separate ways. That is how the drummer would put it, because the drummer, despite being a bit of a space case, loves to use big words. Victor is out of lurk mode. All right, so this is going to be the big villain he wants to defeat. Oh, that's the big strong word that Saturday morning cartoon villains use. He wants to defeat the heck out of our band, the Inner Demons. So let's switch up the music a little bit here and get into something very like dramatic sounding. And oh, you know what? I have the perfect track for this. There we go.